From the beginning, the video takes a logos mode of persuasion. He begins by giving facts on the two separate cell phones. Then, by comparing all of the features on both phones, he gives the viewer a chance to weigh the options on the phones and on the decision-making process on which phone would be more pleasing. I can also see a little bit of pathos in the video, as he does present some emotion when presenting the two phones. In terms of visuals, I was actually pleased with the presentation. It was a black background with just the two phones on the upper right corner. The presenter was dressed in a black shirt, so all that was visible was his face and the two phones. I liked it. It kept me concentrating on his information and the decision-making process of which phone I preferred the most. I did not see any of Duarte's or Reynolds' tips in the presentation, as it did not have many colorful aspects and did not offer a vibrant atmosphere. But it did keep me intrigued, and I think it worked well. Tips from Sir Ken Robinson were evident. The presentation was very dynamic. His energy was very high, maybe a little too high, due to some of his errors he made during his presentation. Presenting to an online community is much more easier than a live audience. One can be more relaxed and calm. The lighting was used very effectively, as all the presenter wanted was the attention on his face and the phones, and his words. His black shirt allowed him to blend in with the background. I liked it. The video was professional, but with a few errors with his speech. The errors were a little distracting, but the presenter should rehearse his speech more, and although attempt to keep the level of excitement, tried to complete his thoughts better. This video goes pathos all the way, tapping into the emotional aspect of sports that creates fans. The pathos mode worked due to the nature of the content. The visual aspect was not appealing. This video was done in a high-rise of some sort and shows the skyline through the windows. After staring at the background, you get the sense of unprofessionalism. I was not impressed. Though an audience is not directly live in front of you, it's not appealing. The professional background should be provided, especially when attempting to persuade me to join your website. I get a sense that the presenter was using the skyline in the background to give a hint of an important big company, but it did not work. I did not see any of Duarte's or Reynolds' tips, and they could have been used. Very dull colors, and the skyline in the back gave a fall feel to the setting. The delivery was awful. The presenter states how exhausted he was, and now this could be evident in the video. Maybe he was trying to sound exhausted to prove that he has hard work and dedication, but it was not a moment to create a video. The presenter did show knowledge within his topic and gave credible opinions to his statement, so that part was good. The dynamism and the delivery was an epic failure. The presenter did not use professional clothing, and that was a huge problem that I had with this video. Appearance is key when you're persuading, selling a product or service or an idea. My suggestions to Mitch, the presenter, is to put on a decent shirt, find a better background, and get some rest before presenting, and maybe I can be convinced to stop by his website. This video uses pathos and logos modes. The emotional vibe of an individual that wants to smell good and have great cologne. Logos is used with the knowledge he uses within his presentation and his incredible knowledge for scents and fragrances. The visual presentation was not completely professional, but it worked. Consider your audience. Anyone who would be watching this presentation honestly would not want an individual with a business appeal. The colors introduced with the books and the country wood cloth on the left side contradicted each other very well. I can see tips from Duarte and Reynolds. He was very informative and his background was excellent and used it to his credibility and used the space very well. The delivery was not the best or most dynamic delivery I have seen, but it was his knowledge and the manner in which he conveyed his thoughts that I felt was enough to persuade me to try his product. He was not dressed professionally, but his attire was appropriate for what he was presenting. His attire gave him credibility in my book. I would take advice from an individual that looked like he did for the type of product he was presenting. His dynamism was not highly energetic, but his knowledge was the key in his method of persuasion. This video was very conversational, almost like I was listening to a friend of mine. Overall, I enjoyed this presentation.